Hey Journey Church, I'm Heather. I'm the kids pastor here. Welcome to day 11 of 14 days of prayer and fasting. I wanted to focus on John chapter 10, verse 3 to 5, and I'm reading from the Passion Translation. So it goes like this, verse 3. But the true shepherd walks right up to the gate, and because the gatekeeper knows who he is, he opens the gate to let him in. And the sheep recognize the voice of the true shepherd, for he calls his own by name and leads them out, for they belong to him. Verse 4, and when he has brought out all his sheep, he walks ahead of them, and they will follow him, for they are familiar with his voice. Verse 5, but they will run away from strangers and never follow them, because they know it's just the voice of a stranger. So this is a fun fact you might already know. I find it fascinating. It's a technique that was used by shepherds in Jesus' day, and they actually still use it today. So when shepherds bring their flocks to the grazing field, it's usually shared by several other different herds with their own shepherd. They all share the space, but when one shepherd makes the call, their own herd will follow them, no matter where that herd might be grazing in the field. The rest of the sheep will stay where they are until they hear their own shepherd call for them. When they hear that call, they go find their shepherd and follow them back home. So when I've taught this parable of the shepherd from John chapter 10 to the kids down in Sunday school, and we just recently actually went through this parable with them, to illustrate, I'll have one kid that's blindfolded while another kid says their name as they walk around the classroom, the name of the blindfolded child. And it's pretty easy to hear your name. Then what I'll have the rest of the class do is begin to talk and chatter over the sound of that name being called out while the first child remains blindfolded. And suddenly it gets a bit harder to identify the voice and find that voice that's saying your name. So the point is, what are we letting in that might drown out the voice that calls our name? The voice of the Good Shepherd. This hit me as I was teaching it to the kids, and the revelation for them is also the revelation for us. God's truth is simple. How do we learn to recognize our shepherd's voice? How can we strengthen our sense of hearing to Jesus' words, wisdom, truth, and character? There's a simple children's song, be careful little eyes what you see, be careful little eyes what you see, or be careful little ears what you hear. And it speaks to the truth of being able to hear God's voice. So the question becomes for all of us, what are we doing to grow the familiarization of the Good Shepherd's voice in our lives? What are we reading or watching or listening to so we're tuned to his voice? Who are we spending time with, surrounding ourselves with, so we can build better recognition of Jesus' voice in our lives? So I would encourage you to seek Jesus' voice today and identify the things that might be drowning his voice out. He has come to give us everything in abundance, as the scriptures say as you read on in John chapter 10. It also says the enemy comes to steal, to kill, and to destroy. So let's be aware of what we tune our ears to so that we can experience life, freedom, and satisfaction under the care of our Good Shepherd. Bless you today.